Welcome back, nieces and nephews, to JEWAP, which stands for Just Everything with Auntie Pookie Podcast. I'm your host, Sydney, or as many know me as Auntie Pookie. Now, welcome back to another Black History Day, and today I'm going to talk about Sadie Tanner Moselle Alexander, who was a lawyer and civil rights activist who achieved multiple firsts as a Black woman in the 20th century. She was born on January 2nd, 1898 in Philly, and she grew up in pretty much Philly and Washington, D.C. Her father left when she was a little girl, but that didn't stop her or her mother from making sure life was great and pursuing education. She ended up graduating from Washington M Street High School and went on to college. During her journey to go to college, she had a bit of issues because her white classmates told her that she couldn't use any school books, any library books for her time attending at the University of Pennsylvania School of Education. Even though she dealt with those challenges, she still graduated with honors in 1918. After that, she got her bachelor's degree and she started studying economics. She ended up getting a master's in 1919, and then she got a PhD in economics in 1921. Even with all of her degrees, I feel like her sometimes, she still couldn't get a job, minus hers was dealt with racism. Mine was just, you need 80 years of experience. She struggled to get a job, but she just continued to work hard. So even though she struggled with that and because of racism, she decided to pursue a law degree to make change. Now, the school she went to get her law degree, the dean wasn't too happy of it, but she ended up getting in anyways, and she graduated in 1927. Once she started her law degree, she took on a lot of civil rights cases, and her husband ended up fighting for Black Philadelphians to have access to restaurants, hotels, and movie theaters. And then in 1946, President Truman appointed Alexander to be one of the 16 members of the President's Committee of Civil Rights. In 1951, she co-funded the Commission of Human Relations of the City of Philly, and she was a member of the commission from 1952 to 1968. During the realm of everything with the civil rights, she worked with the American Civil Liberties Union, Americans for Democratic Action, and the National Urban League. And after Martin Luther King led the Rights March in Alabama from Selma to Montgomery, she actually gave him or presented him with a replica of the Liberty Bell, and that was about 1965. And she didn't really work as an economist. She continued to get more knowledge of all the issues with civil rights, but she did get more and extra knowledge on the economic subjects, and she wanted to make sure that Negroes were getting treated greatly, minus not being white. Also, to add to her civil rights work, she specialized in estate and family law. She served 2 terms as an assistant city solicitor of Philadelphia, and during her 2 terms, she graduated from law school in the 1930s. Then her and her husband decided to start their own law firm, and eventually her husband became a judge in 1959. And since he took that route, she decided to have her own practice. She ended up retiring in 1982, and she passed away on November 1st of 1989 from pneumonia, and she had Alzheimer's. Now, I want to take it back to all of the accomplishments she had, and of course, the first. She was the first Black woman to get a PhD in economics. She was the first Black woman to graduate from the University of Pennsylvania Law School, and she was the second woman to get a PhD in any subject. She was the national president of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority, and then in 1943 to 1947, she was the first Black woman to serve as secretary of the National Bar Association. And the National Urban League chose her as Woman of the Year for a comic book that was called Negro Heroes, which I am going to look up because I have not checked that out just yet. And then President Carter appointed her to be the chairperson of the White House Conference on Aging in 1979. Super amazing that she did so many things and she was the first. And shout out to all the people out there who have been the first to do anything in their family as well. And they're in the first to do anything with a school or a job or anything, because it feels good to be able to set the record and also to just be even extra amazing. Not saying if you come in second, third, fourth, or fifth, you're not amazing. But it is really cool to set the precedent of stuff. So thanks for tuning in and have a great rest of your day.